Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Foam Party 92. Thanks for the suggestion, Foam Party. You asked, why do we say cheers, Salud Kampai, etc. when we toast? It's one of those rituals we all do without thinking. Someone raises a glass, says something cheerful. We all tap our glasses together and then chug. But why? Where did this weird mix of yelling and glass bonking come from? Today we're going to break it down. So raise your glass and stay tuned as we explore the origins of the toast, right here on Explaining Everything. Let's start at the beginning. Humans have been drinking alcohol for thousands of years, not just for fun, but for rituals, ceremonies, and making life a little more bearable when you're living in a hut made of sticks and everyone smells like firewood. The idea of raising a glass goes all the way back to ancient Greece. People would dedicate a portion of their drink to the gods. Pour a little wine out on the ground. Basically, the first cheers. It wasn't just being nice to Zeus. It was also a way to show trust. You raise your cup, you drink with others, and boom, no poison. If you live, friendship confirmed. In Rome, they took it up a notch. The Latin word toast actually comes from tostus, which means roasted. They used to literally drop a piece of charred bread into wine to soak up the acidity. So, if you've ever thought, why is it called a toast? No one's putting bread in their champagne. Well, the Romans actually did. The point here is simple. Drinking together wasn't just about hydration. It was about connection, trust, and sometimes surviving suspicious relatives who might have slipped something extra into your cup. Okay, so that explains the raising of a glass. But why the words? Why not just silently sip like awkward middle schoolers at a dance? The word cheers comes from the old French word chiere, meaning face or expression. By the 1700s, it meant gladness. So when you said cheers, you were basically saying, here's to happiness and good vibes. A lot less formal than yelling, may your crops yield abundantly this season. Different cultures developed their own versions. In Spain, people say salud, meaning health. In Italy, salute, same idea. In Germany, it's prost, short for prosit, Latin for may it be good. And in Japan, they say kampai, which means empty the cup. That's not a polite suggestion. It's more like a command. If someone says kampai, you better not just take a polite sip. They expect action. All of these phrases have one thing in common: wishing something positive on the people you're drinking with. Health, happiness, good times. It's like the global equivalent of saying, I hope this beer doesn't ruin our friendship. Now here's the question. Why do we clink glasses together? What's the point of this synchronized cup smacking? One theory is medieval paranoia. Back in the day, poisoning was a real problem. If you slammed your cup hard enough against your friends, a little of your drink might slosh into theirs, proving neither of you was trying to pull a sneaky assassination. The cheers was basically a trust exercise. Nothing says friendship like splashing ale on your buddy's tunic. Another idea is about the senses. Drinking already hits smell, taste, and sight. By clinking glasses, you bring sound into the mix. A full sensory drinking experience. It's basically medieval surround sound, except instead of Dolby Atmos, you get the sweet ding of two mugs colliding. Of course, there's also the fact that it just feels good. A satisfying clink is like the punctuation mark of the toast. Imagine someone saying, "Cheers," then just sipping quietly with no sound. That's not a celebration. That's just hydration. Over time, all of these pieces, raising a glass, saying the words, clinking, fused into the tradition we know today. What started as a mix of superstition, health wishes, and not getting poisoned has become a worldwide social ritual. Think about it. Every culture has their own version, but the message is the same. We're together. Let's celebrate. Whether you're at a fancy wedding, a karaoke bar, or just clinking plastic cups at a picnic, you're taking part in a ritual that's thousands of years old. And it's flexible. Sometimes the toast is a short cheers. Sometimes it's a long, heartfelt speech where your friend tells everyone how much they love you after 3 margaritas. Either way, the moment of clinking glasses ties everyone together. It's like saying, we're all on the same page. Let's drink. Humans love rituals that bring us closer. What started as offerings to the gods, protection against poison, and a wish for health evolved into a universal way to bond over drinks. It's funny, isn't it? Something as small as a word and a glass tap carries centuries of meaning. It's trust, celebration, and community, all packed into a simple gesture. So next time you raise a glass and say, cheers, remember, you're not just drinking, you're joining in a tradition that goes back to ancient times. And let's be honest, it's way more fun than just quietly sipping and avoiding eye contact. Cheers to that. If you enjoyed this deep dive into tradition, don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't clink your glasses too hard, unless you want glass in your drink. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.